You're listening to 101 with Tommie Zam. On the 62nd episode, we sit down with Dwayne Carter from Heritage Skateshop talking about skateboarding and life. Let's do this. Hey, what's up, Dwayne? How you doing, dude?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. How was your 4th of July?
It was mellow. I didn't do too much at all. Well, I did some yard work at first, and then we went to a little barbecue. But for the most part, and ended the night with a bike ride with my wife. But that was about it. It was pretty mellow.
Sick, man. That sounds like a good time right there. You know?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't a lot. That's the best thing.
Right? It wasn't too much partying. You didn't have to take a break on your liver, right?
No, I just kept it as minimal as possible. I just wanted to try to do nothing for a minute.
I feel you. So I feel you. I was the same way too. Well, probably too hard on the weekend, and then came Monday. I was like, I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah. I went to a little event. Actually, 2 events. So I went to this chemistry collective thing over at Shoots Fish and Beer, which was completely awesome. That was just nothing but hip hop. It was DJ Day. It was DJ Chaps 1. Blame 1 was rapping. Kid Abstract was rapping. Thess 1 was spinning. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like straight up old school hip hop.
Oh, sick! And where was this?
This was at Shoots Fish and Beer.
Oh wow!
Or that Bottlecraft. I guess what's it called? The Tremont Collective.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
So that was a really cool event, and I think it was put on by Chemistry Surfboards. It was / Chemistry Surfboards / all these other heads that are like into hip hop, particularly Blame 1 and Thess 1 and all those dudes from Chemistry make beats and all that stuff. And it was just, that was awesome. I think Oceanside needs more of that. It's just straight hip hop culture. It just reminded me of like the early 90s going to hip hop shows. That's exactly what it was like.
Well, that's what we're missing, Yeah,
I told those boys, it's like, this is exactly what we need more of, like here, like more culture, more stuff like this, more music culture, because there isn't enough. But I had a blast. It was a really good time. And then that was on Saturday. Both of these events were on Saturday, and then also there was Plainview Beer, which was David Stoddard. That's his, the guy that owned Brixton. That's his beer company. So he did his release or his launch that night at the Moose Lodge. And I've worked with him for a long time, and I went to go support him. He supports me. He went ahead and like brought his daughter over to the shop. He bought her first skateboard. So I was just like, I'm going to go, support Dave. I know that whole family for a long time. So I went over there, and it was just, I mean, he hit the nail right on the head. Just all the branding, everything that he did for it. It was just like 100%.
Oh, that's right.
I was impressed. And then the taste of the beer was good. It was everything to the T was excellent. And I was just like, I was pretty inspired because like, he's just, he retired, he retired. And he was just like, I'm not done yet. I don't want to still do some more stuff. So he went ahead and did this beer company, but he did it right. It was a proper job. And I was well impressed with the branding. Just everything was just perfect. It was perfect. Like
that's right.
Everything had a look. Everything had a feel. Everything had it looked like it was an old beer from the 1970s, but it was a new beer with that had a nostalgic feel. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah, so it's like new beer with an old logo to it.
Yeah, because it can easily remind you of a Miller High Life. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's something like that. It was a Pilsner, but it was proper. Like the whole delivery of everything was just outstanding. So I was just really impressed when I saw it. And then we got to see Bishop Snow. So that was really cool too. He came into the shop on a random.
What?
because
That's rad.
he was across the street eating breakfast at Start Fresh. He
Hmm.
comes into the show, and I didn't know who he was at first, to be honest. He comes to the show. I greet everybody when they come in here, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "All right, is this your shop?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Welcome in." And the other boy that works at Ethan, he knows exactly who he was. I was like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "He was a rapper." I was like, "That's awesome." I was like, I gave him some stickers. I was like, "Yeah, just come back anytime you want to read skate mags or watch skate videos. We got it all here in a big ass couch. Come in and just hold it down if you want to." He's
Dude,
like,
that's
"Yeah,
sick.
man, thank you." So that was really cool. That was
That's
really
rad.
cool. Yeah,
That's
it was cool.
yeah.
Oceanside's got a lot of hidden talent here. A lot of hidden talent.
Yeah, there
So
is.
it's just, not enough people know.
Yeah, and I didn't drive that much at all. I just decided I was just gonna park my car in PB and not even drive. I did not want to deal with traffic. I don't want to get
No,
DUI.
that's a
I'm just,
smart thing to do.
because I wanted to go to that Oceanside thing, the hip
Yeah.
hop show, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to drive up there.
So so you're based in PB or
Yeah,
San
I'm in
Diego
PB.
proper? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, it would have been a trek. I mean, but I mean, and I wouldn't have like shit. I wouldn't have. I would have went there and had some beers and like just checked out some
exactly.
freaking hip hop. But the thing is that you got to get home. So
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
not trying to.
I
And
would have pulled over to the side on the PCH and fell asleep in my car.
yeah, yeah. Well, they still get you for that too. Shit. Like
Yeah, I
when I
know.
was living in the Bay, they pulled somebody over. They were asleep in their car, and they
You
pulled
just
them
gotta
over,
you
and
just
they
gotta make
say
sure you hide your keys, because if your keys are in your hand or around the
that's a,
car,
that's
that's how they.
exactly what they busted him for because his keys were in his car. Keys were in the ignition. They were like, "Oh, why you asleep? Why you doing in the car?" It's like, "Well, I was sleeping. I was too, you know, had a bit
Yeah.
to drink, so I couldn't drive." And they're like, "Yeah, but your keys are in the ignition." They're like,
Yep.
"What?" So would they pull them out, gave him a DUI. It was just that little thing.
Yep. I definitely get you. And what's talking? So some people know who you are, and some people don't. Tell them just a small, quick bio about who Dwayne Carter is.
I so I'm a military brat. Um, my dad was in the military. He was in the Air Force for 20 some odd years. We moved around about every 3 years for different assignments that he had throughout the country and throughout the world. So every 3 years we were on the move. And I picked up skateboard. I was born in Sacramento.
Hmm.
Uh, right after that, we left. Went to Michigan. My brother was born there. And from then, every 3 years, we just kept moving around. So I've lived in majority of the states, and we did a 2 year stint in Guam,
Oh
which
wow.
is actually where I started skateboarding, where I really got into skateboarding.
Hmm.
Just because I started in Texas. We were in Texas, then we went to Guam, which was a huge culture shock change.
Hmm.
You know,
Oh,
because
huge change.
Texas was Texas. You know how Texas
Yeah.
is if anybody's been there.
Yep.
But when you go to Guam, it was completely different. I started skating in Texas, and I would have to fight every day because the jocks. Football is a big. Texas is a big football state. If anybody's ever been there, if any lived there, Texas is all about football. So
Yep.
if you're not involved with football, any type of sports, you're considered the outcast. So skateboarding was completely none of that. So I got messed with every day, literally fighting every day because I carried around a skateboard and I wanted to skateboard.
Hmm.
So it was rough growing up. Didn't really have any friends because I was the newest person in town always.
Hmm.
So it was hard to really connect with people because I would, once you do, you got to leave. So I just the only constant that I had was a skateboard. It's the
Hmm.
only thing that really made me happy. It's the only thing that really kept me able to deal with just moving around constantly. I mean, I went to 3 different high schools, 2 different middle schools. It was just tough. So
Hmm.
I didn't really have like a place where I called home. So the skateboard was my home. I just I just skated all the time. It made me happy. It kind of kept my kept me at bay and actually motivated me to do graphic design and stuff like that when I got older. So
Hmm.
it pretty much got me to where I am today. As far as all of this stuff, where I am at this point in life. So, and I owe it all to skateboarding. It's just kept me on the right path. It's kept me out of trouble, even though trouble would look for me. But I just totally kept me on the path to do good things and positive things. So that's, you know, I just that's it.
Yeah. I
But,
know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
but from there, like, so when we got back, I graduated, went to college in Atlanta, stayed there for a long time, skated a lot, met a lot of people in Atlanta. Most of you probably know, like, heard of Thomas Taylor, Grant Taylor's dad, and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
he would kick me out of his shop all the time. And
What?
I would buy stuff, and my friend Jason Guthrie was working there, and every time I bought a lot of stuff, and he would just kick me out of the shop and say, "Man, we're getting kind of busy. You can get the fuck out." I'm like, "Oh man, come on."
Are you
I just want
serious?
to talk to Jason. Yeah, but no, I always get kicked out. I was like, "All right," and like, and that was it. And then but I skated with a bunch of people there. It was a lot of people. Everybody from like, basically everybody from the southeast would kind of converge in Atlanta to skate. So we met a lot of people. A lot of people from Tampa, a lot of people from North South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama. That's where I met Ted, Ted Newsom. He was just in the shop like a couple of hours ago.
Oh, sick.
Who else did I meet? And just, yeah, I mean, I lived there, skated there, finished school, and then I moved out here in 2000.
Okay.
I stayed with my cousin in Van Nuys. She was into filming, doing film producing. So she was never home. She was out on business all the time. So I was pretty much left to my devices. And I just applied for work and kept applying. And then I finally got a call from Dave Swift, Transworld Skateboarding. He's just like, "Hey, we saw your resume and your portfolio. We wondered if you wanted to come in for an interview." I said, "Fantastic." So I drove down here and went on an interview. And yeah, went well. Then like you said, we'll give you a call back in a couple of weeks or whatnot. So I waited a couple of weeks, and they said, "Can you come down again for a second interview?" So I was like, "Oh snap, might be serious." So I went down for the second interview because I originally applied for the agency designer there at Transworld.
Yeah.
So and then the production manager, her name was Sean Kinnear. So she said, "Well, we want to put you in the skate mag because the other people there, like Grant and Dave, didn't want this other guy to come in there and work, or they preferred me over him for whatever reason." I said, "Okay, that's cool. That would be fantastic to be a part of the skate mag." It's like, it was pretty much my dream, So moved down. Like I just did 2 weeks. I started, and then I just started fast forward to learning everything there was to learn about magazine design and all that in lightning speed, because I knew very little.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot in the time that I was there. I mean, a whole lot. So I did that for 5 years, and then I got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Still married to this day. And we moved up to so me and my wife, we moved up to the Bay Area. Moved up to San Francisco, and we lived up there for like 12 years.
Oh, okay.
And I was actually working at high speed because I got a job at Slap. Okay. And I was there for 2 years doing art direction. And my wife was working at Deluxe Distribution. She was working along with Jim Theobald and Tommy Guerrero and all them. And she was like key account sales. So, high speed was Deluxe was on the way to high speed because it was in the same neighborhood at the time. So I would drop her off, go to work, come back, pick her up, then we go back home. So we did that for a year because we were living in Pacifica, actually right outside of San Francisco, south on the west on the peninsula. And then there was never any sun there. It was just foggy as all get out. So my wife couldn't deal with it. So we're just like, So we cruise over to Oakland, and we're like, oh shit, there's sun here. So we just like, so the next like a month, we just decided to pack up and move to Oakland, and like Oakland Emeryville border,
Yeah.
and it was actually. Yeah, so we ended up staying there for a long time, and then we ended up moving back down here. But my son was born up there. Our neighborhood where we lived was actually on the other end of the BART station that was 5 minutes from Lower Bob's neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
So we know that I know that whole neighborhood that the Lower Bob's is in. It's sketchy. I've been all through it. It's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
But you know, that's where it was, and you can make a skate park there, and no one's gonna fuck with you because it's in the middle of the hood, so no one cares.
Yeah.
So it's fine. But 2016, we just just decided to kind of pack it up and move down here because we were just pretty much, I was going over my finances with my wife. I was just like, well, look, we could stay here, but we're pretty much treading water. I mean, there's nothing we can really we can't really do anything here. It's too expensive. So we decided to move back down here, and my son was getting bigger. So we moved back down here. We ended up getting a house, and then like my son's into surfing, and now he's into skating more than ever.
Oh, sick.
So he skates along with me. He's like my skate partner.
Oh,
So we go and skate, and yeah, that's fast forward to pandemic. We were just, we're locked down, and I was, doing graphic design for like what 20 years. It was 2020, so it was 20 years. And I was working at Transworld again in 2019 when the whole thing closed down. So I was art directing the snowboarding magazine, Snowboarder, and Transworld Skate.
Oh, so
and I was working. Yeah, so they say for every art director there was in a building, they had 2 titles to work on. So I worked on Snowboarder and I worked on skateboarding. And I worked along with Jamie, Mike Fitz, Blair Alley again. And those were the 3 boys that were pretty much running it. And then I worked with the other snowboard guys, Pat Bridges and all them. But then COVID came and they closed down. They had to close down all the titles. All that stuff was done. That's an events-based company. So with all the events having to be stopped, they lost a ton of money within the first week of COVID. So they were pretty much just running on fumes until 2021, and then that's when they had to just shut everything down. So, and I told myself during the pandemic, I'm going to do something completely out of my flipping comfort zone. It's like I've always into skateboarding. I've been skating for 38 years. I was like, I'm gonna do a skate shop, but I want to do a skate shop where I won't get kicked out.
You don't want to get kicked out of your own skate shop.
No, I can't kick myself out of my own skate shop. This is my shit. So like I went ahead and like made it, but I made it because I wanted people to hang out here. I wanted it to be more for the community. I wanted their people that come in and just like, this is a place where they can go meet up with their friends. We have rails up front. They can come and hang out and skate. They can check out. I got a huge library of skate mags. I got a huge library of skate videos. It's like, I got a huge couch. I mean, this is like, I specifically made that so people can just come in and hang out if they want to. And I also have my shop section, which is, I carry whatever I carry. I carry skateboards, I carry wheels, I carry trucks, I carry clothes, I carry everything that has to do with skateboards. But it's all skateboarding here. It's all just, and the reason why it's heritage, because I wanted that heritage of skateboarding to just progress. I didn't want it to be a digital only type of thing. I wanted people to go in and learn their history about skateboarding. Like people don't understand that there's like, Dwayne Peters is literally 3 doors down from me, but none of these kids know who he is because they don't bother to even read, or they really don't even care about who this person is. But this guy created a lot of tricks. He was a legend in my time. As a matter of fact, he's still considered a legend. It's just these are the things that I have here in my library that'll teach people, like, there's history to this. There's history that you should know. Even Jake Phelps was like, you should hang out in the skate shops. You should hang out with your people. These are your people. Learn about your people in your scene. Like, these are people who you would connect with on the regular. You
Mm-hmm.
should be really familiar with them. And I agree. That's the only thing I ever agreed with that man with with that statement. Because for the
Oh,
life of me, every time I go upstairs, he always call us slap faggots. Like, he would literally like fuck with us all the time.
yeah.
And it's not because he was just him.
Yeah,
And like,
we all know Jake though.
yeah, but the thing that I respect about him is that he was a dick to everybody. He just wasn't a dick to certain people. He was a dick
Yeah.
to everybody. So he hated, his hate was equal,
Mm-hmm.
towards everybody. And I respected that more than anything
Yeah.
about that man, because it doesn't matter who you are, you're still going to get the shit under the stick with him. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay, that's fair enough. but
Yep.
but other than that, like, this is what I wanted, and I still working hard at it, trying to make it as a fun environment as I can possibly make it. Just
Oh yeah, definitely.
keep it pure, keep it original. It's not so much original; it's just keeping it to the essence and the roots of skateboarding. I just wanted that to be as that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. It's just, I love this. I love this stuff. I've been skating for 38 years. I got a new hip just so I can continue doing this stuff. I'm not going to stop.
No, it's in your blood.
So like, it's got me this far in life. It's given me a career. It's given me a home. It's given me a family. Everything. So I owe everything to it. So
Oh yeah,
it's
definitely.
it's like people say, skateboarding doesn't owe you shit. Like, you owe everything to it, and
Yep.
I completely agree with that. So I yeah, that's pretty much my story.
And let's go back a little bit. So what part of Texas did you grow up in?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. San Antonio is pretty, it's supposed to be like the New York City or New York City of Texas, but I never been through it. But I totally get what you're saying when you're saying how Texas is. I mean, I grew up in Pensacola, Florida, so I mean, it was
Yeah,
basically the same.
it was the South. Yeah, all of it. That
Yeah,
same kind of attitude.
yep. I mean, if you're a skateboarder, they looked at you different. Cops would threaten you and
Yeah.
and beat you up and all that stuff. And I totally get it.
Well, I mean, it's like, it's nothing that they're used to. It's something different, and
Yeah,
how people react to something that's different. And they don't understand. They treat it as a threat.
yeah.
So they looked at skateboarding as a threat.
Oh yeah.
So they
And
had to eradicate that threat as soon as possible.
oh yeah,
But like,
definitely.
so
But
I just kept doing what I was doing. Like, I don't know. I just kept my nose clean and just kept doing what I was doing.
yeah,
So
that's all you can do. I mean, that's how we were. I mean, because I mean, it was when I grew up in Pensacola, it was like either you played football or basketball. Those are the two that you had to do. But if
right,
you're anything outside of that, you know,
yeah, it was different.
yeah, if you're
You're
into punk rock,
strange.
yeah, if you're in punk rock music, I mean, I used to go to punk shows, and the jocks or the rednecks would pull up in their big old trucks and fight us,
Oh
fight
yeah,
us. You know, same with skateboarding. I mean, we had to deal with redneck cops that would. I mean, I remember a cop saying that he'll shoot me if I don't listen to him.
yeah. That sounds like a Southern cop to me.
Exactly.
It's the same stuff. Like, but it's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, okay, hold on a second. Oh, hold on one time. Hold on one second, Tommy.
No worries.
One quick. Hold on a second. Hey, Ethan, can you help him out? He needs some trucks. But yeah, like, I was. Sorry about that. Just someone came in the shop looking for some trucks. But yeah, that's the same attitude down in the South.
Yeah.
But I must admit, when I was in Atlanta, so Atlanta was different, because Atlanta was like the LA of the Southeast. It was
Oh yeah.
massive.
It was a door
So
to the. It was door to the deep south.
yeah, but it was awesome. The skate scene was awesome. It's
Hmm.
still awesome there. It's still fucking awesome there. And I still have a lot of friends there. I still have a lot of people that I just talk to all the time there. It's got a fantastic scene. And I think what Thomas did there he made that scene. He made that scene to what it is today, along with the whole city. It's so fun to skate downtown. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculously fun. Every single night, we were at North Avenue Martyr Station, or we were at what is it, the Bell Tower,
Bell
Bell
Tower's sick.
Tower. Yeah, so Bell Tower, we see the North Avenue or Bell Tower. We get kicked out of one, we go to the other. And if we got kicked out of either one of those, we skate downtown to the Peachtree Martyr Station, which was downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was all on. We just skated. We skated everywhere, and it was just the best shit ever. The best shit ever. I met a lot of people from all over the place that were there.
Hey, we probably met there. We used to go skate from. We used to go take road trips to Atlanta because Atlanta was the hot spot.
It was fun. It was fun. Like I skated with so many people. Who did I skate with? So the New York dudes would come down. Like Jeff Pang came down. We skated with him. I don't know
Mm.
how we got to skate with him, but we skated with him. This dude was sick. He was
Yeah, Jeff Hank's
ridiculous.
rad.
Yeah, he was freaking ridiculous. He stood up my mind. Him, we skated with Mike Dayer, of course. That dude's ridiculous. He got the biggest ollie I've ever seen anybody do. Him
Yeah,
and Stacy Lowry, because Stacy Lowry is there at the time. And there's
yeah.
this planter that was right outside, that was right across the street from the skate shop that I worked at. It wasn't a skate shop. It was like they rented skates and it was a bike shop, and they sold skateboards. But it was right across the street. It was from Piedmont Park, and Piedmont Park is where we basically set up our boxes, our rails, or whatnot, and we just skated there and hung out all day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this big planet there. I think it was about waist high, and Stacy Lowry just snapped right over that shit,
Yeah.
like it was nothing. And I was like,
So,
"You gotta be kidding me!"
so,
It's like
so
I'm
you
gonna
got
try that shit, so I kept trying it. I
so you
kept
got the
trying it.
so you got the photo stuck in your head, right?
I saw his back wheels going over that planter, and him just shooting over it into the street. I just like that stuck in my head.
Dude, that's
It was
so rad.
ridiculous. It was freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, we used to take trips over to Atlanta from Pensacola. We used to skate Atlanta a lot of time. I remember it was like back in the early '90s.
Yeah, that's when I was there. That's
Yeah,
when I was there. Hey, did you? Okay, so did you? Okay, so not many people know about this. Did you ever go up there when Freaknik was happening? Do you remember Freaknik?
the name sounds familiar.
It was a big party. So all the black colleges really they all converged and went to party in Atlanta. And it was
Oh yeah,
completely
yeah, yeah.
off the chain. Like I've never seen a party like that
Oh, they
ever.
partied up
They
there.
they took out they took over the whole they took over the all of downtown was literally a parking lot. People would just be
Damn.
partying. Like we skated through that. It was just literally off the chain. And I saw so many we saw so many hip hop shows. So many. Like I think I saw Wu-Tang like 3 or 4 times when Freaknik was happening. And of course Gangstar, Beatnuts, all that stuff. It was just ridiculous. We saw all of that.
Dude, that's rad.
All of
That's
that.
I,
Yeah,
I, I remember hearing about that, but I never went to it.
oh man, like 96. So I think
Oh,
the
96,
one that was hitting was 96.
96 I was out in Cal. I was in San Diego.
Oh, you were in San Diego? Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I was still there. Like, yeah, because 96 is when the Olympics was there too. So they
Okay.
had Freaknik in the same year, which was just a completely busy year there. And that was just I don't know if I had pictures, if I had an iPhone then,
Hey, think about if we had an iPhone back then.
if we had an iPhone, if I had an iPhone back then when Freaknik goes on, what's going on, that all this shit would be banned that I'd be posting because it was completely
Hey,
vulgar.
if we had an iPhone back then of our skate life and what we lived, we would be famous right now. You know?
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's just it's so funny, so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we did was just skate, and
Yeah,
of
'cause
course we go ahead.
I said, yeah, because most of the time we mostly skated because we're so close to New Orleans. We always skate in New Orleans. I think New Orleans is like a 3-hour drive for us. So we always head over to New Orleans.
Oh
But when
yeah,
but when we make a trip to the ATL, I mean that was like a weekend trip. Like we would stay out there.
yeah. But see, we didn't even have parks. There was no skate parks, but we
It's all
still
street.
skated the city. Yeah, we still it was nothing but street. So I didn't learn any kind of transition until I got to California.
That's how
And
I am.
I was just like, whoa, like what is this? Like, I'm gonna learn how to, I said, this is crazy. So I started skating parks. Started learning how to
Uh-huh.
skate parks and stuff like that. Started learn how to skate transition. Then we move up to the bay. I skated Berkeley Park all the time because it
Hmm.
was kind of near my house, and Berkeley was just that place was really really fun, and the Alameda skate park where
Yeah,
like I think it was John Cardiel that did that huge melon tweak over that hip.
yeah, that was. I
I
remember.
believe that was that. I would believe that was a part because I remember when he landed,
Hmm.
that bank that he landed in was super shallow.
Yeah, that
It was
was.
super shallow, and in Alameda, that part was super shallow when people did trick. But I don't know how he got the speed to even like
Yeah.
go over that.
So definitely traveling a lot. I mean, being a military kid, traveling a lot. I mean, it must have been a lot hard for you to meet friends and do all that. But I mean, but I was glad that you kept skateboarding in your life because
Yeah,
that's was your true, like you said, was your home. That was your friend. That was your everything.
yeah. It was my companion. I mean, it just like everywhere I went with that thing, you know, it always opened the door to new things and new friends and people like that. All kinds of stuff. Anywhere I went with my skateboard, it was like you had the key to the city because they would just bring you around. It's like if they saw that you were a skateboarder, oh shit, well come with us, we'll go skate, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
We just
And
went everywhere. Like North, the a place we went to is North. Was it Chapel Hill, North Carolina? I mean, we met up with some heads, and we just skated. Saw
that's
that we
right.
were from Atlanta. They were like, oh shit, okay. Well, why don't y'all come through with us? I was like, okay. And we just skated. Like same with Birmingham. We went to Birmingham. Like me and Ted were just talking about ghetto banks earlier. They just tore that
Oh,
down.
Get a Banks was dope, dude.
Yeah, that was really really dope. But they made a what is there's that new Birmingham Park that's underneath uh, that freeway intersect that freeway overpass.
Yeah, that's right
But they
by.
have a replica of the ghetto banks in that park.
Yeah, Kent Russell did that.
Yeah, it is awesome. That's
Hmm.
just awesome. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would find myself in Birmingham nowadays, but like if I ever did, I would definitely go to that park.
That park, I stopped out at that park on my way back out to California, and that park is a lot of fun, dude.
Really,
Yeah, that park is
man,
a lot of fun.
it looks ridiculous. It looks
Oh, you
it
have, you,
looks so
you have
awesome.
so much, you have so much fun there. It's just a lot of good skating and a lot of good skateboarding and that. And I'm glad that I forgot what that skate shop's there called.
Faith.
Faith. Yeah,
Yeah,
and what they did for that Birmingham skate scene, they did a really good job.
yeah, man. That's see, that's kind of like that's kind of like what I want to be a part of. I
Hmm.
want to enhance the scene here. I don't want to change it. I want to enhance it. I want to be a part of promoting it and injecting more of the history into it. Like I
Yeah,
just because it's given me so much, and I feel like it's my duty as a person that's been doing this for the past 30 some odd years that I can get back to it because I want people to have the same stoke I had when
yep.
I was growing up. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
No, I know what you
It's
mean. I definitely know what you mean because the shop that I grew up with was Beach Plus, but now it's called Plus Skate.
I used to get boards from Beach Plus. We got the Beach Plus blanks. They were like $25 with
Exactly
grip
right.
tape. So we would order a shitload from those in Atlanta. Like we always like we was like, oh shit, man, we need a new board. It's like go to Beach Plus, man. It's $25. I was like, fuck yeah. So ordered like two and three boards. We got grip tape. It was like I'm good for like I don't know 2 months.
Yep. Yep.
I'm good for like 2 months. So we're
So,
like
so
that's where we used to order from a lot. That's so
yeah,
funny that you mentioned
yeah,
Beach Plus.
yeah, that was the shop I grew up going to,
No way.
and now it's
That's
called
so
Plus Skate Shop, and Lee owns it, and that's always going to be my shop in Florida.
of
That's the
course.
shop. You know,
Yeah, of course. Like Stratosphere would always be mine.
yeah.
But even though I got kicked out, but I just
That's the funniest thing, dude. Like he would kick you
I
out.
got
They
kicked
fire
out more
shit load.
times than anything. It was kind of funny. And even my old friends would be like, this girl that I knew, she goes, "Yeah, you always got kicked out of that shop." I said, "Yeah, I know." It's like it's cool that you started your own shop. You can't get kicked out of that shit. I was like, "No, hell no." but
But it was
but
rad. But it's rad that you went back and still supported him, even got
I
kicked out.
always bought stuff from there. I always bought stuff from there because I was like, that was where I met up with my friends, and then like we just meet up, shoot the shit, hopefully not get kicked out. We bought stuff because they always had stuff, and we go and skate.
Yeah.
That's literally how it was.
Yep.
It just that's what skate shops are for.
Yeah,
But
and I think a lot of kids don't realize that this generation of kids don't accept it that way. They rather go to Azumi's, they rather go to Tilly's and this and that, but don't understand that a skate shop is the root of skateboarding.
yeah, and I kind of, but at the same time too, like if you're in a kind of remote place, and if the only place that you can get skateboards is the mall, and the
Yeah.
mall it has Azumi's, and that's the only place you can get skateboards, I can understand that. But if you're conscious enough to know where like the skate shops are pretty much the backbone of the industry, you should support those guys as much as possible.
Yeah.
I bought, even before I had a shop, I was supporting the skate shops here. I bought from here because I knew there were skate shops. I never bought anything from Zoomies. I never
Mhm,
bought anything from Tilly's. It was always the core skate shops I would support because I
mhm.
know that they were doing more for skateboarding than anybody else would. And
Yep.
they were going to keep my activity, the activity that I loved, alive. So I always supported them. I
And
always
that's
supported them, and I always support them. No matter if I have a shop today, gone tomorrow, I don't care. If I'm still going to be skating, and I'm still going to support shops
yep, that's
because that's they've done everything for me when I was growing up as far as skateboarding.
100%. I mean, I remember when I first moved out here, 95, between 95 and 96, didn't know anybody, just flew out here with $1,000 and $1,000 and a plane ticket, and
Hmm.
had a cousin out here never met, and then walking down the street or skating down the street and to the beach, and then all of a sudden I see Pack Drive, and I was like, oh, Pack Drive, that was in 401, that was with Sal Barbier, and this
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
famous
yeah,
shop, so that's
exactly.
always been my shop because that's what I always knew it as.
Hmm. And I
And
would always go down there when I lived up here in Oceanside. I would always go down there to skate with some folks from the magazine, but we'd always go to Pacific Drive,
mhm,
just to check out the shop because these are like legendary shops. To me, they're legendary shops. I would always
yeah,
go down there and check it out. I'm like, wow, this is what this place is like. Or Slappy's Garage. I mean, that place is
yep,
tight,
yep.
But like,
Jason's killing
and
it.
these, yeah. So these are the places that have like kept skateboarding alive for so long. I mean, not just them, but just every course shop around here. Like every course shop in Oceanside, Carlsbad, and whoever that's just selling skateboards, that's supporting this scene. It's like, I give them props for it because it's
Mhm.
it's tough, but at the same time, if you have the love for it, you're always gonna make it work.
Yep. No, and when you were talking about your shop, I mean, it kind of reminds me when I went back to Florida for a little bit, like early 2000s. I went back to Florida for a little bit, just get away. Um, I went to St. Pete, and actually opened up my own shop down there because I wanted to do the exact same thing what you were saying is what I
Yeah.
did. I had a
Hmm.
shop in St. Pete,
Yeah.
and did the same thing. I had chairs, I had TV. The kids would come in, parents would drop their kids off, they hang out, go skate around the shop. Then they'll come back. We play Uno. They watch skate videos. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
we
like
had a
it's a safe place. It's a safe
yeah,
place for kids to go if they didn't have a place to go. And
yeah,
I'm trying to like make a safe place for kids to go here because understand like Oceanside does a lot for like small children, like very very small children, and but for teenagers it kind of misses the mark. It just there's not really a place for teenagers to really like kind of go and hang really.
hmm
But if I can create another place where they can just, I mean, I'm not trying to change the whole landscape, or I can't. There's no way I can. But if I can just open this place up for kids who want to just come in and just hang out like you would at a regular skate shop, if I can do that, I mean, it would be. I mean, that's just it's good to me
yeah,
because it's
yeah,
just like it's kind of like that extra support the community needs,
yeah,
you know.
definitely. I
And
mean,
every community needs support for their kids, especially the teenagers.
yeah, hundred
So
percent.
I
And
just go ahead. Sorry, I'm.
no, no, it's all good. No, I was just saying that because with my shop, I definitely did like there wasn't that many skate shops. There was like one, but they kind of fizzled out a little bit. And then it
Yeah,
was just mine. And then, but what I would do like events all the time, autograph signings. I would do like when a new video comes out, I did a video premiere and kids would come.
yeah,
I mean, I
that's
did a lot
awesome.
for the skate community to build it up what it is now. you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
and that's something I would never take back. I mean, the reason I shut it down is just because the comedy with 2008, when the comedy just hits, it just never came back. That area
Yeah.
never hit back up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. There's that time was hard. And
Hmm.
I think that's around the time when so I had gotten laid off and slapped in like 2007. But then right after that they started laying off a bunch of people. And I think that's where it started. Cuz it was like me then like 10 other people in a warehouse, they were just gone and I'm just like shit, what the hell is happening? And then I saw in the news like people were just losing jobs left and right. And I'm like fucking great.
Yeah.
So, but I was fortunate enough to have a job during that time, which is I don't know how I pulled that off, but I was fortunate enough to have a job, and I was working at Ride BMX at the time. I
Hmm.
was their art director for 4 years, so I was really really blessed to have something like that going on. Where I actually worked remote. On top of that, I worked from the Bay, and they were down in Tustin,
Hmm.
so it really worked out for me, and it really saved my ass. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, and I still kept skateboarding.
Yeah.
Even though I worked at a BMX mart and give this boy shit. I was like, why you always bring your bikes to the freaking skate shop, to the skate park? You'll be fucking up the coping in the back of the goddamn bowl. It's like, and they're like, dude, come on, man. We're allowed to go skate there too. Nah, but yeah, but you know what?
You're
And
screwing things up,
I would bust their chops about it all the time, and they would get pissed at me. So I
man.
wasn't too popular with those boys. But like, but it's just that, you know. And
Yeah.
I didn't, I wasn't against BMX. I was just like, man, why don't you go ride your bike somewhere else?
Hey, I used to tell people like people always tell me is like, oh man, skateboarders destroy the curbs and ledges. And I was like, no, man, that's some BMXers on those pegs, man, because they hit that concrete, boom, it chips it, you know.
Yeah, I got hit by. I was at Berkeley Park one time, and I was awing over the hip. I was in midair. I was doing a frontside ollie in his hip, and I didn't hear the bike coming, but he ran right into me midair,
Hmm.
and I got hurt. You know, I was and my adrenaline was rushing. I got pissed. So there's Berkeley. So Berkeley Park has an 8-foot fence. I literally took that kid's bike and threw it over the fence. I was like, "Get
Damn,
that
Mr.
shit
Hulk.
out of here!" I said, "Get that shit out of here!" And all the kids were like, "Yeah, man, get that shit out of here. We don't want no bikes." I was just like, dude, it's just like, because man, why are you acting like this? Like, just because, man, like this ain't no goddamn bike park. It
Oh, you
says
got bumped.
skateboards only, and you
You're
just
right.
hit me with your bike, and this is the reason why this isn't allowed here.
Yeah.
And he was just like, all right, all right. He just freaking took off. But I was just like, fuck, read the signs, man. It's like
Yeah.
you could hear us coming up from a mile away, but we
Yeah.
can't hear no goddamn bike because
Nope.
y'all are
Absolutely.
quiet as kept. And then like as soon as we move, y'all are there.
Yep.
And there's
100%.
nothing that we can do but just get hit by y'all heavy ass bikes. So so yeah, that was it. That was the only time. I'm never like that. That's just nasty. That's a nasty way to be. But
Yeah.
I got so pissed at that kid running into me.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what to do.
I would do the same thing too, man. You know.
Yeah, but just looking back, it was shitty. It was shitty for me to do that. But you know what? Like he needed to get the hell out of there with his bike.
But also too, yeah, but also too, you got to think about it. You're in midair, and this guy's coming up and jumping in midair and not paying attention.
No,
And
well, no, he wasn't, and he wasn't because if I was already in the air and he was in the air, he obviously didn't see me coming,
yeah,
right? But you could hear me, but I
yeah, you
couldn't
hear,
hear him.
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So and when you said, when Dave Swift gave you a call to come back the second time, I mean, what was your feeling about that when you knew that, like, did you feel like you were about to get that job? This is a job that you're going to get for Transworld.
I was hoping. I didn't assume anything. I was just like, well, I hope I get this. This sounds like I've got a good chance, but you know how things go, and I've been let down too many times. So I just said, well, we'll see what happens. If I get a job, then that'd be fantastic. If I don't, then I'll just keep looking. And I went in there expecting hoping for the best, expecting the worst.
Hmm.
But it turned out that, ended up getting the job. I learned a lot. It was a great experience. I got to meet some great people and yeah, just learn about a lot about the craft that I do and skateboarding and just just the skateboard industry itself, that like the behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting.
And
Very
what
interesting.
and the first day you walked in there, what was like when you got the job, when they say, "Hey, we're gonna hire you," blah, blah, blah. The first day you walked in there, what was your feeling? I mean, were you like, "Wow, a dream come true,"
Yeah,
like, awesome?
literally, it was like literally. I walked in, I was just like, this is just bizarre. Like this is crazy. Like this is where it all goes down. Like all those magazines I've read over the years, this is where it happened. And I was just like, this has got to be unreal. This is unreal. but it was fun because I took advantage of it. I just tried to learn as much as possible, as much as possible.
Yeah.
And
I mean
I did. And like the guy I worked with, Aaron Regan, and Ted
mhm,
Newsom was there. He was on his way out at the time, but I worked with Ted was kind of my mentor as well as Aaron Regan. But those boys showed me everything when it as far as design and layout and stuff like that. And
mhm,
I just tried to watch what they do, and I tried to mimic what they do and everything, because they had such style and they had such a creative touch to everything. Even with just typography and photography, everything was just like, this is what I wanted to do. So I just try to follow their lead as much as possible.
so you're the man that you're one of the guys that, like, the main guys that, like, m you had to make sure the magazine looked the way it looked.
Well, yeah, we created the look and feel. So there was two people designing the magazine.
Mhm.
There was Aaron Regan and there was me, and we were there at the time when the magazine was around 428 pages.
Oh, wow. Yep.
So we
Oh,
had about let's see, we had about 150. I want to say 150 edit pages per person. So that was a lot of work. That was a lot of work,
that's a lot of work for
but
2 people.
it's a ton of work. But at the same time, I was so into it. It was so worth just staying there late just to do that stuff, because it was just like, this is a dream. Like if I'm gonna like make it happen, I'll make it happen. I'm gonna stay here and learn as much as possible. You know,
Mhm.
so I did. It was great. I met a whole bunch of people, like a whole bunch of people, and they were all nice people. Some were nice, some were not, but
Mhm.
people are people, and that's who they are. And I just accepted them for who they were, face value,
Yeah.
and that was it. It was just all a learning experience to me. So I
Do
just
you
took advantage of it.
do you have your first magazine that you designed?
I do not have that anymore. And but is shit, where do I have that? I don't even know if I have that in my library.
Uh-oh, you gotta find that one.
Yeah, I gotta ask Kevin. I gotta ask because see, Kevin Marks came in the outfit in my library, because when I was working for those mags, I threw because we were moving around too, so I did not have the space for a bunch of magazines
Mhm.
in my lot of stuff, and I got rid of all that stuff.
Do you
But then
do you remember do you remember your first magazine?
shit, it was 2000. It's 19. No, wait. Shit. I got that. I started in 2000, February 2000. I think it was
Mhm.
the April issue, April of 2000. April 2000 was my first issue, I believe. I'm gonna ask Kevin for that. Thank you for reminding me, because I'm gonna ask him for that. See if he's got
Yeah,
it.
'cause you gotta keep that one because that's the
Yeah,
first that's history right there, you
yeah,
know?
it's my very first one. That's where I first started to learn Quark Express,
Oh,
which
okay.
was, yeah, because that was way before the Adobe Suite
Mhm.
came out. We were learning. We had to learn Quark Express, and Quark Express was kind of a clunky program
Really? So, well, why is
for
that?
design. Well, just because compared to InDesign, it was just it wasn't as great. I mean, the color palettes were completely off from Adobe. So when you would bring a photo in from Photoshop, you do a photo in Photoshop, you bring it into Quark Express, the blues would become, I don't know, the blues would become pinks, the reds would become something else, and like the greens would become yellows and stuff like that, because it's just the color palettes didn't match.
Mhm.
But since you know, but then when I left there and went to Slap, they were on InDesign, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know InDesign at all. They was like, "Do you know this stuff?" I said, "Yeah," and I said, "I didn't know InDesign shit, so I'm gonna fucking start learning this shit right away." And it was like the only thing that got me through was the similarities between Quark Express and InDesign, and everything else I pretty much had to learn,
Mm-hmm.
like because there wasn't tutorials like there were now. You know, like if I had you'll go into Photoshop, I can instantly click on a link and go to straight to a tutorial, and it'll show me how to do anything. Or I can go to a YouTube channel. They didn't have any of that back then,
Mm-hmm.
so I just had to just go through and just learn it trial and error. So that was a change, but I learned it and I got good at it. So, but I'm learning new stuff with that all the time, especially with the AI stuff nowadays. That's awesome. Holy
Oh, really?
shit. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
different,
yeah.
right?
That's just like some of those tools in the new Photoshop. It makes it saves so much time and it saves so much headache,
Mm-hmm.
particularly photo wise. It's amazing. I can't go into that, but you just have to play with that yourself. But that's that's the AI stuff is real. It's real. It's flipping real, and it's like this is the worst it's going to be. 10 years from now, it's gonna be completely bananas.
Oh, 10 years from now, we're going to have a whole different program of everything, you know?
I mean, that's the but yeah, that's the thing. Like designers and writers and all that shit should be using this now to get ahead of it because if they don't, they're gonna find themselves out of a job. And
Right?
I'm just like, shit. I'm gonna try to learn this shit now so that
Yeah.
I can learn how to just so I could keep my job or keep a
Mm-hmm.
job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because this AI stuff is gonna replace most of that.
Oh, that's what
Most
they're
of that.
saying. That's scary too, you know?
Well, yeah, and it's actually really scary of almost Terminator scary of what this AI stuff can do.
Hey, I
So
hope,
it's
I hope we don't live in a Terminate world, man.
well, if when they start making cyborgs and all that shit, that's when I'm gonna start kind of shaking in my boots because this half machine, half man type of deal that is can be real, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't want to go further on that because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just guessing and I'm just like scaring myself. So I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah, we'll just stop there, man.
That's another episode.
Hey, as long as they don't make robot skateboards, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm already seeing that dumbass shit. Like people going around in these remote control and these one wheel skateboards. Like I don't know what the hell that is.
Hey, that's
But
scary to do, man. I would not. I would not ride one because I just don't trust those things, man.
man, we got folks out here like right on that shit down on the street. They're going like 40 miles an hour
I see it here too.
right
Trust
down
me.
the street. I mean, like shit. That's scary. That's
Yeah.
really scary because these people in here ain't really driving right either.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
imagine you getting thrown off your board and going at 20, 30 miles an hour over a car. I
Yeah.
mean,
And you're
that's
riding one of
scary.
those little things. And you're riding one of
Yeah, and
those
you're
things.
riding one of those. Even those electric scooters or whatnot, does with that little whiskey throttle, ooh, you'll get thrown off that shit really quick.
Oh, I see somebody crashing those things on the
Yeah,
beach.
I bet. Yeah, trying to get all like, trying to get loose and drunk, trying to get on the scooter. I'm like, nah, player, you ain't gonna do that.
Hey,
They'll get thrown
hey,
off that.
yep. It's the same with those e-bikes too.
I mean, I've seen some, there've been some real bad accidents with that too. I've seen kids get pretty jacked up. You
Yeah,
know.
that's why I just stick to a regular bike and a regular skateboard, man. Just I
Yeah,
can jump
I
on
must
people.
admit, I must admit, like I have an e-bike and it is convenient because for times like 4th of July when you cannot get down to the beach in your car because it's so crowded, it helps because you can go
Oh,
down there, you can post up, like and just you can go down there and post up, put your stuff in your bike, and then just take off. You got to wait in traffic. It's great for that, you know.
oh, okay.
But
I'll
other than
think about that.
yeah, I mean, you don't got to worry. But I mean, that is if you don't mind parking. Like if you want to park, then by all means, do what you need to do. But I don't like to be worrying about getting in the car to try to like go to the beach and drive around 10 or 15
No,
times trying to find a spot. That ain't my cup of tea.
no, that's why I live on the beach. Park my car and I just jump on my board and cruise down to the beach.
There you go. If you're right by the beach, shit, you're sorted. You ain't got to worry about none of that shit. Like, you're
Nope,
good.
definitely not. I see all the people like stuck in traffic. I'm just like, yep, that's
Yeah,
the reason
yeah,
why I don't drive, man.
yeah, yeah. Hell no, hell no.
And
That's why.
so one of the things I want to ask you is what's the difference, from working from Transworld and Slap, what's the pros and cons of that?
What do you mean?
Like, working for them. I know there are two different magazines and two different ways they did things. Um, what
There
was the
were
pro?
well, there were two different companies, two different publishing companies, but they pretty much ran them the same type of stuff, but one's San Francisco, one is, North County.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only difference. I mean, Fausto did things the way he wanted to do them, and Larry did things the way he wanted to do them, and that was pretty much it. I met the both of them. They're both great people. Fausto was he was definitely one. Fausto was he was interesting as hell. That dude's interesting as hell. Just his whole story is interesting. Like, he didn't know any English until he moved to San Francisco, and he learned all that stuff. He learned English and all that stuff from the Giants games on the radio. From what I've been learning, yeah. And he was like, he was an Italian immigrant from Argentina, apparently, and he kind of took a liking to me because I showed up drinking mate out of the gourd and all that stuff, and he was from, of course, he's from Argentina. That's where people, that's people in Argentina drink that. That's what they do. They drink mate like people here drink beer. And like, he saw me with the mate gourd and all that stuff. He said, "What the fuck?" He was just like, because he thought it was the most random thing ever. It's like, what the hell is this nigga doing right here, just drinking mate and all this shit? But where did he come from? So I started drinking mate. He was just like, he's like, "What the fuck? Do you drink milk and sugar with that?" I said, "No." He's like, "You're fucking crazy." I was like, I like it straight, man. Like, I like it straight. He's just like, "Yeah, not me, man. I gotta have milk and sugar with it." I was like, "Okay." like, this is how I do it over here. But like, he gave me a bombilla. Actually, what was funny is he kept like there was one time Phelps came in and he gave me a bombilla, and I guess Fausto must have given that to him. And he says, like, "Here you go, man." I go, "What's this?" He goes, "Just one of those mate things that Fausto had." And I was like, he wanted you to have it. I'm like, "Okay, thanks." Because mine was getting all rusted out and I actually needed to get a new one. But I was like, "Oh shit. Well, I guess I got a new one." That's awesome. So that was the nicest he ever was to me. The nicest. I was like, "What?" He just gave me a bombilla. That's fantastic. Because then I didn't have to buy one.
Yeah. I think I always remember Phelps was always at Tampa Pro, and I think it was his last Tampa Pro, and I remember him coming up to me and he was like, "I know who you are, mad respect," and I was like, "Cool, thanks, man."
Yeah. He was a man of few words. He only had 2 words. He only had 2 words for the slap people, which I told you about earlier. But like,
Yeah.
for the most part, he was just this dude that was up there just yelling random comments and shit. Like, it was just bizarre. And then, like, the last time I actually saw him, he was saying something about San Jose, like cursing it or something like that. He's like, "Yeah, San Jose." I was like, he said, "You know about San Jose?" I was like, "I haven't really been there, man." And then like, he went up to Fausto, and Fausto's like, he's like, "Fuck San Jose, right?" And Fausto's like, "I don't give a fuck." So like, he just took off. And that was the last I saw him. And Fausto, I think, had passed that Saturday, because that was a Friday. And then Saturday, apparently, I got a phone call from his daughter. And I didn't answer because I was in the middle of Trader Joe's with my son, and he was like 2.5, 3. He was kind of hectic at the time, so I was just like, I couldn't answer the phone. And then the next day I was at Trader Joe's again, and she called and I answered the phone. she goes, and she was crying. It's just like, yeah, she said, like, I thought she said something that her dog died. I said, your dog died? She goes, no, my dad. I said, your dad? I was like, you just saw your dad on Friday. He goes, no, he's gone. I said, what are you talking about?
Hmm.
It's like, my dad had a heart attack. I'm like, you
Hmm.
got to be joking me. Fausto. She goes, yes. I go, oh my God.
Hmm.
And come Monday when we went in, he was just like, it was like the most, it was just bad.
Yeah.
Everybody was just pretty much torn up about it.
No, the whole industry shut down when he passed away. Basically.
I think all the high speed had really just stopped for a minute, and they just didn't. I don't think we did anything that day
Yeah.
because it was such a like a blow. It was crazy. I've never experienced that. I never had a boss that I've seen one day and he's gone the next. Like I've never experienced that before, and I was kind of freaked out by that.
Yeah.
I
I
was just
did.
like, and I was like, felt so bad for her and Tony
Hmm.
because by the time he arrived at the hospital, he was already gone. And I
Hmm.
was just like, damn, that's just like, I say, I don't know how I would feel if my dad would pass like that. Here one day and then gone the next. Like, I don't know how I would even deal with that. But it's just something that they had to deal with. And I was just like, geez,
It's
I felt
tough.
really, 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 really bad for him.
Yeah.
Like, it really like killed. I mean, it didn't kill their family. Their family's still strong, but it's just, I don't know how I would deal with that. Really.
It's tough, man. From experience, it's tough, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of friends in Atlanta pass from, you know, drug use and alcohol abuse. And, my old world is just diminishing because of all that. And with the fentanyl stuff happening,
Yeah.
like
That's a whole different story.
I've lost a lot of friends with that have been using and stuff being laced with fentanyl and people just passing away
Yeah.
suddenly. So I have to I have to have these talks with my son and say, look, like, this stuff, it's not like it was. I mean, you can't just go and just try stuff.
Hmm.
You gotta like be careful. Not only that, you just can't do any of that.
Yeah.
Like you do the wrong stuff and you're gone. That's it.
Yep.
You
Yep.
don't get a do over. So if I were you, I would just stay away from it.
100%. And then one last question. Let the users know where can they go to Heritage Skate Shop? Where are you located at? What website or anything like that?
So Heritage Skateboards is located on 1019 South Coast Highway, and that's so if you are going south on South Coast Highway, it's right after Two Brothers Pizza and right before Discount Tire on the west hand side of the street. And my website is heritageskateboards.com, and that's spelt HERITAGESKTBDS.com.
Okay. And then and your Instagram?
My Instagram is at Heritage Skateboards, spelt the same way the website is.
Okay. And then your hours or anything like that?
So my hours are Tuesday to Saturday, I'm open from 11 to 6. Sunday, 12 to 5, and I'm closed on Mondays.
And
So
what days are they there? They come hang out with you?
any day you want, because I'm always here. I'm always here. Apart from Mondays, I'm always here. And if I'm not here at the shop at after 6, I'll be at Prince because I'm always there skating
There
whenever
you
I
go.
get a chance. So
There we go. And then what can you say to the upcoming skaters, someone that wants to do what you've been doing all your life, or someone wants to be in your shoes? What can you say to them?
it's a labor of love for sure. You've got to have the passion for it to want to do it. It's not easy. I can tell you that from right now, but it's not as easy as some people make it look. That's for sure. Um, it's just a lot that you have to know going into. Well, not really that you have. You do have to know a lot going into it, but at the same time, you just have to have the drive. It's mostly drive and determination to do what you want to do, and just being smart and cognizant of costs, economy, times everything. It's just everything matters when you're doing a small business, especially here in California, because California doesn't necessarily make it easy for small businesses. So you just have to be aware of a lot of things. But other than that, it's just if you have the drive and if you have the will to support skateboarding in this way, I'd say the more the merrier, because we need this. Skateboarding needs this. It needs that roots stuff, because a lot of it's getting eaten up by, big corporate people. And it's just kind of like it's diluting it, and it's not what it used to be. And maybe I'm just too old, but I just see that. I just see that happening. So I'm just trying to like put some of the roots back into it with, the magazines, the videos, just being able to hang out in the shop. Like, I just want that to come back, and want people to be able to like, hang around their people and be around skateboarding and learn about skateboarding, absorb skateboarding culture. That's it's my main thing. And then like to kind of like be there for the community as one of the people that's there for the community when the skateboarding, support it, because we need more of that. Real shops, not a Zoomies. We need real shops.
100%.
And I'm not like trying to diss Zoomies or whatever, like, because they are who they are, but at the same time, they're not giving back like the real shops are, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we need. We need real shops giving back to skateboarding and supporting it in a way that, no one else will. So we just need that to support the culture. And whatever shops that are out here doing that now, I applaud them and I support them too. So whoever's doing it, well done.
Hell yeah. Well, Dave, what you said is so true, man. Do you have any shout outs?
I do. Mainly my wife and my son, Lizzie and Sev, and my main man Ethan, that's been here since the beginning. John Wright, who's come in and just give me all these gems from Transworld, and my Jason Hodges, one who's came in and helped me paint the front of the place, make it all nice. But really, everybody that's just come into the shop just to even come in and check it out. I'm really appreciative of everybody that walks in here. And I just want to say thank you all for giving me a chance. Check out what I got to offer. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, cool. Well, Dwayne, thank you so much for coming on this podcast, man. And I look forward to coming down and kicking with you at the shop and talking skateboarding with you.
Yeah, always, man. Always welcome. Please come in. I can nerd out all day on that stuff.
Oh, me too, man. All right, homie. Well, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, cheers. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Late.
Bye.